honor of presiding.
Thank you, Sheriff Cassidy. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting of the Sullivan County Commission, Thursday, February 19th, 2026. I invite you all to remain standing to the end of the Pledge of Allegiance, delivered by United States Navy veteran, Commissioner from District 10, Gary Stidham. First, recognize Commissioner Crawford for the invocation. Commissioner Crawford, if you will, sir.
Let's pray. Lord Jesus, it is with humble hearts that we come before you tonight to ask your guidance over this time that we've come together to do business for our wonderful county. God, lead us, guide us, and direct us. And may all that we do be for the betterment of our communities. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Stidham.
Everyone face the flag, proper hand salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When the board opens, please record your presence. While we're waiting for that, we have public comment sheets over here underneath the seal. I have a couple of sheets already been filled up. If you wish to address us on either agenda-related items or non-agenda-related items, please, are there any sheets left over there? Anybody else wish to sign up, please do. Non-agenda items or agenda-related items. Has every member recorded their presence? Madam Clerk.
20 present, 4 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have a quorum. The meeting of the Sullivan County Commission is in session. Thank you. Our first order is approval of notaries. Madam Clerk, we have a list of notaries.
Kelly M. Bagley, Sidney Ball, Ryan Barker, David Allen Bays Jr., Katrina N. Fox Bennett, Nathaniel Blaylock, Gary Lee Boyd, Amber Brody, Carissa Bryant, Kaylee Elizabeth Campbell, Misty Carter, Laura Click, Avery Cochran, Sherry Colston, Sheila Ann Cox, Angela D. Crawford, Tony Renee Crawford, Linda Crawley, Susan Gail Culver, Matthew Darrell Davis, Donna Jean Dillard, Johnny Allen Driven, Greg Easterling, Elena Easterling, Susan C. Elliott, C. Stewart Everett, Penny Gail Farrow, Emilio A. Flores, April H. Gangler, Stephanie Marie Gannon, Marcy Danielle Gillenwater, Joseph Albert Gladiszewski, Kaylee Green, Joshua M. Green, Wendy L. Griffith, David W. Hartsock, Crystal Hawkins, Ethan Christopher Haynes, Teresa Herring, Megan Allison Hopkins, Jennifer Marie Howard, Howard Dale Johnson, Kaylee Johnson, Connie B. Kendall, Nathan Lee Kendall, Jace A. Kubander, Tracy Luckadoo, Lori Ann Mann, Amy Dawn Mitchell, Renee Morlock, Sherry Mullins, Alexis Sierra Mullins, Erica Nichols, Lydia S. Norwood, Haley Ortez, Stephanie C. Osborne, Kenny M. Parker, Thomas Bullock Jr., Frida Robinette, Patricia A. Shivers, Sharon M. Shuttle, Richard Steranko, Michelle W. Snyder, Samantha R. Spencer, Brittany Torrey Sowers, Christine Hart, Patricia Hart, Krista Waters, William C. Witcher, Amy Woodall, Jessica L. Yost.
Is that all? Anybody need her to repeat that? You've heard the list. Is there any discussion on the list of notaries as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Cole, second by Commissioner Cross and others. Any further discussion? When the board opens, please cast your vote on the approval of notaries requiring 13 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
20 yes, 4 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, approval of notaries is approved. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next order is presentations and appointments. First, Sullivan County Jail update on construction and question and answer period with representatives of various stakeholders. We have, who do we have? If you will, come to the well. Sheriff Cassie, I'm sure you'll be.
We have with us MDI's Representative Lewis, Marcus Wilcox with J.A. Street, Young Street, J.A. Street, of course myself, Sheriff and Lee.
Just whenever y'all ready. You didn't have a presentation. The floor is open for questions. If you seek recognition, please press your button, and I'll recognize you in order that you press your button. Commissioner Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank all y'all for coming tonight. Thank you for coming in and offering an update of where we're at. County commissioners are required to answer taxpayers' questions regarding spending in the new jail project, and it's concerning that no one from the sheriff's jail department has offered routine updates throughout the entirety of this costly new jail construction process. And we've asked for a list, and I think things have been brought into us in a timely manner on that in the last little bit. But one of the questions I've got is, so far, has anybody got the true cost of all the expenditure overruns that they're running into?
Currently,
And if you will, state your name and who you represent. Thank you.
Marcus Wilcox from J Street, so I'm the project manager for the project. Currently, the current contract amount is $104,787,000. We, as far as cost overruns, the most recent change order has been in regard to smoke evacuation, and that's the last hurdle that we've been facing trying to get this facility open. We run into some unforeseen conditions with the smoke evac system, which is necessary to hold the inmates because they are in a isolated scenario. So they have to have an alarm system that evacuates the smoke once it's detected in a timely
mentioned the smoke test, and, that's one question that I have, is, I understand that it failed. Was that a design flaw in the design of it? Was it a architectural, design went in the right place? What, and my concern with that is my understanding that since it failed and it coming back, that county taxpayers is on the hook for $305,000.
I'm Louis Cortina with MBI Companies. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but based on the information I've received, the smoke evac is more of an art, okay? We can calculate airflow, CFMs, but the way the behavior of the smoke traveling through the ducts is more of an art. And so we had smoke detectors in the original design, and it didn't pass, and so we have added some. We're very close to getting it passed now. I think we have to add, we think we have to add maybe 8 more, but it's more of an art than an actual calculation.
My question on the money, I need an answer on that. Why, if it was a design flaw and architecture, why are we on the hook for paying another $305,000 for that to be redone?
If we had put numerous extra smoke detectors in there, it would have been in the original bid, and the county would be paying for those. So this is improvements to the jail. This is systems that are being added to the jail as part of the jail. We didn't take out smoke detectors, we're adding some.
Okay, what are the rest of the outstanding items that need to be fixed, and what are they, and what's going to be the cost of this?
In regard to the smoke detection, like I said, we only have about 8 more detectors that we're looking at having to add. So that's a minimal cost. The other outstanding items, we're working on punch lists as we speak currently. The Alderman area has just finished up, and the security electronics contractor is performing their final testing. Phase 1, which was the original portion of construction, is complete. We do have a couple warranty items, and punch as build starts getting used that we're working on, but all the major work is complete at this stage. It's just getting through these last hurdles of testing and finalizing out the security electronic system.
Okay. All these extra things that needs to be done, who's going to be paying the cost for that?
We're still determining what items have to be done, and if there are additional items added to the jail, then that's an improvement to the jail. So we believe that's the county's issue or requirement. There's stuff that have to be replaced, we'll look at that.
I think Mr. Street has done an amazing job with what he's been handed to. And he's followed it by the way that it's been presented to him. And I feel like that some of this stuff is just unacceptable to the taxpayers of this county to have to sit back up and pay for it again. It's concerning to me that it's been handled this way. Because we have contract, we have everything in writing. These folks are supposed to have been in that jail in the first of December. And here we are going in February. And we borrowed money on a bond to pay for this. And the taxpayers split the bill. They're the ones that's paying it. And Mr. Carswell and Sheriff and Mr. Lynn Stewart has done a hell of a job over there trying to keep the wheels on the cart. And that wasn't what they're supposed to have done. And it's concerning me that Sullivan County's got this much money invested, and it's been, in my opinion, a damn disaster. I'm sorry. And I'm here for the people I represent, and they got bills to pay too. So that's all the questions I have. And like I said, Mr. Street, thank you, Lynn,
Commissioner Ward?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What's the contract end date for this construction? I know that we had one, and then we added the add-on.
With the latest revision, we're at April the 20th, as far as contract time.
2026?
That's correct.
Okay. Was it not July of 25?
The initial, yes, it was before, I'd have to go back to the exact date, but before the alternate was added, the alternate added the project.
But wasn't the alternate date with the add-on in December of 25?
That was December 25, yes, sir, with
Okay.
the alternate.
So
And then
we-
with the smoker back and the outstanding items that we have, and the elevator, that has extended it out.
Okay,
Those were change orders to the contract, adding extra scope.
okay. So speaking of elevators, why did we add another elevator? Was it because the first elevator only went to a couple floors and didn't hit all the floors?
The original design plans, before the expansion was finished out, had 2 elevators. And then with the expansion being finished out, that added a bunch more cells.
Did the elevator stop at every floor?
No, it did not.
Who designed that? Have you ever been on an elevator that didn't stop at every floor? Oh, that's a question. So, I said, let's allow him to answer. I was getting a lot of, so because of that design flaw, we had to add another elevator.
You didn't have to add it. Typical jail design does not, the elevators don't stop at the mezzanines.
How do you get food carts and medical trays and medical carts up to those floors? That you don't have an elevator that stops at that floor? How do you get that big equipment up there?
I guess you carry it. I'm not the
Have you ever seen a medical cart? Do you realize how big that is? And how's a nurse supposed to carry that up to that floor? Okay. What happened to the guy that we paid that was supposed to be sitting over there watching what kind of quality and what we were getting for $100 and X amount of dollars? Maybe that's for you, Lynn.
Yes, that was Codell, and their contract was us.
So they had a contract that didn't even go to the completion of the build?
Well, because of the extension on the contract, we were gonna have to pay them $30,000 a month
Okay.
to extend it on out. But now that we're this close to being complete, I basically stepped up to be there rather than pay somebody $30,000 a month.
Lynn, do you feel good about what's going on over at that jail right now? And you feel like you're capable of making all the decisions and finishing that project over there?
I think working with J.A. Street, we spent the last 2 days working on smoke. I think we will get it figured out by that time. We're down, the first and second floors are passing. We've got booking passing. We are essentially, because called TAP, which is the balance of the air conditioning system. We run into where whenever they test and balance the system, some of the dampers have got shut. And so we're not getting the exact airflow to get the exhaust out of them. So, I mean, we'll work through it. But, yes, I think we can finish it.
Who makes the final call? Who makes the calls to say, this building's done, we've got what we paid for, the taxpayers have got what they paid for? Who makes that final call?
I guess once the sheriff is good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be me. I'll come back before you
So-
guys.
So would you be in agreement that we let Chief Carswell in on that decision, since he spends his life over there in that jail? And
He's been with us.
oh, I know,
Yes.
yeah, I've spent several hours over there looking at a lot of work, and been on tour. It's a pretty big facility. I just hope we get our money's worth.
Yes,
So can we agree right now that we let Chief Carswell and the sheriff make that final decision
sir.
on when we move in?
Certainly.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
Commissioner Larry Crawford.
I guess this question for Sheriff, once you get the okay to start the transition, moving everything over, what's your projected time period in getting everything into operational, over at the new jail, Chief?
Let me answer that for you, Larry. We do have a plan, and you know, initially I put all that out to you all, and we had the, you know, delays, things came up that we unexpected. But we do have to go over there and do some initial training with the security electronics. There's a lot of changes. It's a whole new system. We have that. We have a whole new kitchen that we've got to get. So I suspect we have 2 or 3 weeks of getting that down, and then we'll start moving over there and operating out there. We don't have to move all the inmates, but once we start moving, it'll go pretty quick. It's just a lot of unknowns. It's a big new area, and I suspect we've got people in place, and we've got policies and procedures being they're all drawn up now. So we're hoping everything's gonna flow. But could be some unexpected things happen.
So there's a possibility to be administrative people first and then bringing the inmates into the facility.
Okay, as far as that goes, the security electronics, the guard station, I think you've seen it, maybe I took you over there. Once we get people where they can control all the doors and the operations, as far as that goes, we get that nailed down. Because you don't want to go over there and you don't know what doors to open up. There's, I don't know how many different areas we've got to control. Once that's locked in, which I'm telling those guys, I think it'll be about 10 days for them to go through and get a good feel for that. Then we'll move the kitchen staff over there. Once we're controlling both buildings, we'll move the kitchen staff over there, get the, you know, that's the next big thing because it happens 3 times a day, every day. So once we get that figured out, it's a whole new kitchen with a lot of new equipment. We'll get that down. I'd say the whole process, Larry, about 30, within a month, we'll have it going. So I don't expect to see anything out of the ordinary.
Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for coming. I appreciate you answering. Lynn, this is for Lynn. What's the status on our water issue we've had?
Well, what everybody thought to be an additional sinkhole out there at the road turned out it wasn't.
Good.
Whenever the water line that comes through the parking lot, and then it turns and goes up the hill to pick up the 2 EMS stations, the extension in the jail garage, it runs across the parking lot. And then when the gas company came in and relocated the gas line, they directional bored. And when they bored, their bore went right under the water line, and so the two were sitting on top of one another. And so over a period of time, them rubbing, it blowed the water line out, which took the gas line out, and then that's what washed everything out. But the highway department came up, we dug it all out, we drove a bunch of steel, poured concrete, the lumber utility came in, they replaced that whole section of water line through there that we had dug up. And so this was 2 utilities that created this problem.
Okay, so what size is that water?
6 inch.
6 inch, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Commissioner King.
Thank you, Chairman. I guess, Leah, this is a question for you about the warranty on the building. If we go ahead and start moving people in, and just like training for the kitchen, laundry, and start using that, is that when the warranty on all these products starts? And
I don't know if that's that's what I'm assuming. These guys probably know that better than me.
Okay.
It's a little more convoluted than that because we have 2 phases within the project. When the county elected to move forward with the alternate area, that directly affected being able to occupy phase 1. The smoke evac issue's been known since around August. We had a temporary CO issued by the fire marshal allowing staff occupancy for the building. That was dated, I think, June the 2nd. June the 3rd, 2025. So we did at that time perform a portion of the owner training, which was for the HVAC systems, fire alarm, and security, a portion of the security system at that time, for the county to utilize and occupy that portion of the facility, which would have been the kitchen, the laundry, booking and medical was more specific, because it was further along in that stage, and allow for training through the ground level portion of the building. We actually phased the project. So, to answer that question, it's going to be twofold. We're going to have kind of a split warranty with the building. The alternate will be upon the final completion, because it does affect, like your elevators, the warranty won't start on those until the alternate, because we couldn't utilize them on the first phase because the control cabinet was in the alternate area. So we've had to wait to turn those over. So those will have full warranty starting in another month or so when you take occupancy of the building. So I hope that answers it. It is a little convoluted, but it is a phased warranty per the plans and stuff.
Okay, so I guess where I'm coming from, if we do a little bit here, and then we do a little over here, and then, jump around it, what I think is we need to have that whole building complete, done, finished, checklist, everything that we need to, as taxpayers, as people of Sullivan County, needs everything finished on that building. And then that's when the warranty on everything that's there should go in effect. Not hop skipping around and saying, because everything's connected there. And if you do something over here, and that might affect something over here, that would cancel your warranty over here. So to me, I think it ought to be all done, finished, and then that's when the warranty and everything should be checked off. Make sure that everything's working. And then another thing is when we're training these people, you've got to go to that kitchen and use some of that stuff. Is that going to affect our warranty if we start using that stuff to train? Because, you can't go in there overnight and start, cooking. You got to train people that we've hired to come in here to work. And just the same thing with the laundry and the medical and all these other, and just like the elevators. Are you going to have one elevator starting warranty here and then two over here starting another warranty over here? That's, who's going to keep up with all this? That's my question. Who's going to say, well, that's under warranty, or no, that's not under warranty? Oh, well, Sullivan County, you're going to have to pay for it. And it's the same thing with, the design of some of this stuff, just like the sensors on this smoke testing and stuff. If the sensors had been right, we could probably have the smoke sensor test done and over with, but the sensors wasn't right. It wasn't, and that's a proven fact. So who's going to have to pay for that? Is that Sullivan County? Is that street? Mr. Jim, he has a set of design of a plan, and he goes for that plan. And if it don't work, is it going to be Sullivan County paying for it? Or is it going to go back to the people that designed it? If they didn't design it right, I think they're the ones that needs to be coughing up and fixing it, not the citizens, the taxpayers of Sullivan County. So that's some of the questions. I don't think we need, I know time we're wanting to get in, but if we get in and all this warranty stuff and everything's not fixed the way it should be, then I think we'll have problems down the road. I think it needs to be, this is like if you build a house and, you want a CO to occupy, that's when you move in. You don't move in when your house done or something. You move in when the house is completed, and then you've got a warranty from the builder or the contractor that you go by. And I think that's what we need to do with this. And then we got to have somebody that's going in and enforce this. This is not right. We want you all to fix it. Who's going to fix it? So that's going to become in a later part of the process. But I'd say midsummer before we get to that process. So, that's some of the questions I've got is, mainly about the warranty and who's gonna be responsible for some of the things that haven't been done exactly right.
We as J.A. Street will honor all of our contractual obligations and guarantee you we will take care of the warranty per those documents. And, our reputation, we've been in this community for over 30 years. We stand behind our work. If we have a problem, we're gonna take care of it. But again, our hands are kind of tied with the phase construction. Had the alternate or the elevators been included on the front end, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I think that was a problem of funding on the front end, that there just wasn't the opportunity to do so upon the initial bid. So we're in this position kind of by default having to add those after the fact. So if, we would be open to further discussion regarding that matter.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Street says, we have a lot of equipment vendors, that are outside of our control, but we do have relationships to where we can work within these parameters to try to overcome obstacles with warranty. And, the other thing I'll say is the sooner we can get in and get these folks using the systems, then we identify any of those potential issues that may arise from the use of equipment. Equipment sitting idle, it's not good on it. It needs to be used, our kitchen needs to be functioning, our laundry equipment needs to be operating. The longer we sit dormant, the more I think we have a potential for issues. But we'd like to get those identified now and resolved.
I know that there's subcontractors working right now. You all have your own employees working now on as far as the construction of the new park. Have y'all got men working there also?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a full-time supervisor on site every day.
All right.
And then we have 3 craft workers as well.
All right.
From J.A. Street.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Cole? I've been writing it down, so I don't know who. I guess my question would be, if it hasn't been asked already, we had contingency money, $2 million. Have we gone over that? And what did we use that for?
The initial big expense that we got was $634,000 that we spent on micropiles. I mean, we did do core drilling, but whenever they kept boring, the way the design was, they had to go 6 foot into bedrock. And all these micropiles, some of them went 12 foot, some of them went 80 feet. But they're in clusters of 9, and that's the beam set on it, and that's what that building sets on. And so that was the bulk of $1 million went right there. And then just in various things, not large item numbers. I mean, the parking lot wasn't part of it. In the original bid, the parking lot in the back was going to be rock. Plus, eventually, it was going to be a future if we ever built a justice center back there. And so, that was right at $100,000 to pave all that out back. So it's not been big items, it's just been various things for $2 million over the course. Yeah, the soils that we had to deal with.
Thank you.
Mr. Glover?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned warranties. I think there need to be a list of what's already started that's under warranty from not only you, but some subcontractors too, that needs to be presented to Mr. Carswell, and that needs to be presented to us. I understand already we've got some rust and some things with the stove. It ain't even been turned on. We got stuff with rust around the bottom of it, pipes been busted. That's what we need to know, if what's warranted, what ain't. That list needs to be compiled with both. And I don't think that we need to put any emphasis on putting anybody in that jail, even think about putting anybody in that jail, till all this stuff is took care of. And it needs to be completed, a list needs to be done, compiled, and whatever's wrong, it needs to be corrected. And then I think it needs to be through a process of us operating it for a while to see and make sure that everything's fine for these folks put any prisoners or inmates in that jail. And I think the list that Mr. Carswell comes up with needs to be brought back to this body. We need to go over it. We need to make sure that it's completed and it's completed right. And we also need a list of the extra money that it's going to cost the taxpayers to correct these problems. It needs to be presented to this body. And when they're happy and when they're satisfied with putting someone in there and they let us know, then I think that's when we need to say, okay, this body was the one that borrowed the money. If you're happy, we're happy. But until then, I don't think anything needs to be done with phase 1 or phase 2 until all phases are done. And usually warranty start on some things. I mean, that'd be like me going out here and paying Sears for a washing machine and them deliver it to me next July. And the warranty started right set in the first 12 months. I don't think that's the way you do things, especially when you're doing somebody else's money. And that's the reason why we need to know what is and what ain't. And like I said, this is, Lynn, I know it's been a tough job. Thank you for all you've done. But we've got a lot at stake here. That was a tax increase to build this jail. The people has to pay for it, and we need to make sure that they're getting what they pay for. So we need that list, and we need it brought back to us. I think in a month or 2 months, I think it would be a wise choice to bring it back and let us look through it and see what needs to be done.
Would you want us to come before you all, like in a building committee or another
I think
committee?
it needs to be presented in front of this whole commission,
Okay.
just like
I
the
just didn't know
way,
if you
just like
wanted
the way we
to-
did tonight. We're all in this together, and we need to make sure that's done. Thank you.
Chairman Pro Tem Vanover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to remind everybody, this is probably one of the biggest building projects ever done in Sullivan County, if not the biggest. And it's been a behemoth to get it done, so I'm sure you all are more anxious to get it done than anybody else in this room, so thank you for your work. The only question I have is, yesterday we had a chiller to go out in a health department building, and last summer we had a chiller to go out in one of our schools, and I know that was probably due to weather, unavoidable, but as far as maintenance going forward, is that going to be to you, Lynn, or we're going to have someone from the sheriff's department in charge of the preventive maintenance going forward?
The sheriff's department has their maintenance people, plus as all departments, we all have contracts with Train or other companies that maintains this equipment.
Thank you.
Commissioner Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming out here tonight. I just wanted to tell you thank you for working on the project. I think the ultimate problem here is that just your normal, everyday working citizen feels like they have more regulations and more procedures that they have to go through than what this has been feeling like. So I just needed to state that. But Mr. Wilcox, did you say April 20th? You're anticipating a deadline of April 20th?
That is our current contract completion date. We would like to strive to better that. The smoke evac that we're working on currently has to be completed, and we have to move the inmates into the new facility before we can complete the remainder of the contract. There's the new intercom, in the existing jail system, we're replacing the intercoms, cameras, and tying those back into this new control system. So there's still 60 days worth of work that's got to take place in the existing facility once we complete this summer.
Would it be too soon to ask you all to come to our April meeting to give us an update on where you're at? Can we plan for April?
It's not a
All right. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Any of you wish to address the commission in any way? Sheriff, do you have any? As well? Ken.
Thank you enough for being here with us this evening. Thank you very much. Our next order is appointment of members to the 2026 Sullivan County Board of Equalization. Whereas the Sullivan County Board of Equalization is composed of 5 members, and those members are to be elected from different sections of the county by the Board of County Commissioners in April of even years, and those members are to serve 2-year terms. The nominees are Mr. Robert Green, Mr. Kenneth Osborne, Mr. Charles Crosswhite, and Mr. Robert Earhart as an alternate member. Is there any discussion on the appointments? Anyone seek recognition? Entertain a motion to approve the appointments. Motion by Commissioner Cole, second by Commissioner Akers. Any further discussion? Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on the appointments requiring 13 votes for passage. Commissioner Crosswhite, I'm just going to ask a clarifying question. Are you abstaining for cause?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. That takes, since that takes away 1 member's eligibility to vote, the necessary majority is now 12. It's the majority of the eligible body. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
20 yes, 1 abstain, 3 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, the appointment is approved. Without objection, next order is public comment. Well, thank you very much. I didn't see it in our packet. Entertain a motion to vote on the minutes for previous meetings. Thank you for calling me on that. I do apologize. Motion to approve the minutes from previous meetings by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Cowton. Any discussion on minutes as presented? I get on autopilot sometimes. When the board opens, please cast your vote on the minutes as presented, requiring 13 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
21 yes, 3 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, minutes are approved. Before I read the rules of our public comment, did anyone wish to sign a sign-up sheet that didn't get an opportunity to? Feel free. We have a sheet over there. Anyone at all? I'm going to read Rule 4 from our general rules. Sullivan County Board of Commissioners Rules of Procedure. I'm going to read Rule 4 under general public comment while you're doing that. Public comment. Citizens of Sullivan County, Tennessee may be allowed to address the board. A public sign-in sheet for requesting an opportunity to address the board shall be made available. The sign-in sheet shall require the individual's name, address, brief description of subject of their comments. The public sign-in sheet will be given to the chair at the commencement of the meeting. The chair shall review the public sign-in sheet and open the floor for public comment at the time designated on the agenda. Each individual shall be given 3 minutes to address the board. A total of 30 minutes will be allotted for public comment. The allotted time may be extended by the chair. At any time, a member of the board may object to a non-member's comments continuing. If there is an objection by any member, the chair shall immediately take a vote to approve or disapprove the objection. If a majority of the members present vote to approve the objection, the non-member shall cease his or her comment and the chair shall proceed to the next order of business. If a majority of the members present vote not to approve the objection, the non-member shall be allotted to continue his or her comments for the time approved by the chair. And I read that because we have a lot of folks that have signed up. I want to be fair to everyone. I want to be mindful of the rest of our business too. I'll go ahead and read the public comment rules. Each speaker is requested to state their name and address for the clerk's electronic record. Though this is not question and answer, clarifying questions may be permitted. No speaker can transfer or yield time to another speaker. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes uninterrupted and is asked to direct all comments to the chair of the body and not the members. At the end of the 3 minutes, I will let you know and ask that you make a final statement. First, I'd like to recognize Chuck Carter.
you.
Mr. Carter?
Thank you, Chuck Carter, 55 West Sullivan Street, Kingsport, 37660. Last month, I came before you and shared information about our career and technical education programs and how we were progressing there. I think the key word tonight is progress, and I brought you and handed out a sheet, a one-page sheet that just gives you an idea of academics for our school system. This is a combination of K through 12, so just for the sake of time, I'm trying to save your all's time as much as possible. I'd like to just go through these. It's the four main key course subject areas: math, science, English, and then social studies. And the way I would refer to this is my coaching background. Had a fellow coach, and he would always say, we're always looking for progress over perfection, because perfection is basically, for the most part, unattainable. But constant progress, constant improvement, and as you see in the mathematics area there, the first one, dating back to 2021, coming out of COVID, 16.8% of our students met or exceeded the goals of the testing for either EOCs or their TCAP test. And now in 2025, we doubled that with 38.4% meeting or exceeding. At the same time, the students below, it's below, approaching, met, and then exceeded. So the number of students who have, that were in the below in 2021 up to 2025, basically cut that in half. And then the number of students who have exceeded growth, not just met, but exceeded, went from 2.8 in 2021 to 10% exceeded. So they still a lot of progress there, moving students to the areas that we want to see them in that either met or exceeded. In the science, similar, 32.8% in 2021, up to 43.5% in 2025. Below, decreased down from 25.6 to 17.9, and our exceeded group continues to grow from 3.1 to 7.2%. Language arts, 24.2 in the met and exceeded 2021, and then up to 39% in 2025. Below, decreasing that from 22.2% to 17% in 2025, and they exceeded the expectations, growing a great deal, still a lower number, but from 1.9 to 9.0%.
That's three, Mr. Carter.
Yes. Was that my three?
Yep, go ahead and wrap up.
I'll just finish up. Social studies from 32.3 up to 40, and then the below, decreasing that from 29.9 to 24.9, and exceeded, going up a little bit, but from 4.2 to 6.1. Key is we are continuing to exceed and grow students in the right ways, and decreasing the number of students in the categories where we don't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna do that was non-agenda related item. I'm gonna go ahead and do the non-agenda related items first. Ben Cohen. Cowan, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ben Cowan, 108 Stonecross Circle, Bristol, Tennessee. I appreciate your time and the opportunity to speak here. As a career oncologist, I was making decisions based on facts and data, not opinions. And I'd like to share some things related to facts and opinions with you. The ground is shifting under your feet. With the Minneapolis and what went on in Minneapolis with ICE, 2/3 of Americans think ICE has gone too far. 6 out of 10 think disapprove of the agency in its entirety. But Sullivan County is a Republican stronghold, yes, but even staunch Republicans are not immune to the realities and the facts. Over 4,000 people were arrested in Minneapolis. 75% had no criminal record at all. 25% did, mostly traffic offenses. But there were 4 or 5% that had violent assault charges. These had already been adjudicated. So very clearly, these were not rapists and murderers. These were not the worst of the worst. The only conclusion you can have is that their crime was overwhelmingly having Latino names or brown skin or both. This is overt racism disguised as public safety. Surely Sullivan Countyans are better than that. At present, the citizens of Sullivan County overwhelmingly support our law enforcement, and we thank you for your service. This will change quickly when we see our friends and neighbors being disappeared by our own law enforcement agents in cahoots with ICE. Where do our friends and neighbors go? Not the concentration camps. Oh, yes, they are. These are immigrant detention centers. These are not day spas. Sexual abuse, physical abuse, poor food, and deplorable conditions are the facts. There's no oversight, no accountability, and it's totally opaque. You can ignore what you see with your eyes, but you cannot ignore what you feel with your heart. Vote no on your items 2 and 3, and while you still have a shred of decency, vote yes, and every citizen in Sullivan County will share your shame for this overt sin.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Michael Gilly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Michael Gilly. I am the Department of Children's Services attorney based in Kingsport. I'm here on my, as a resident of Kingsport in Sullivan County, and I do not represent the state of Tennessee tonight. Last week I was here to talk about the need for a full-time juvenile court in Sullivan County. Last week I talked about youth crime. This week I'm going to talk a little bit about substance abuse. If you're not familiar, neonatal abstinence syndrome is when a mother uses drugs while pregnant and the child is born usually drug addicted or drug exposed. And as a result, in the best case scenario, the child has this horrible screeching cry that lasts for weeks, and these tremors and shaking that don't cease to end for quite a while. In the worst case scenario, you have children that are born with learning disabilities, physical disabilities, and mental disabilities that last a lifetime. If you think that the juvenile court, the part-time juvenile court here in Sullivan County, does not play a huge role in every single one of those children, you are mistaken. Every single one of those kids require some sort of attention by the court. And the reason I bring that up, the Tennessee Department of Health keeps statistics on neonatal abstinence syndrome birth, NAS births. Sullivan County is on that list, and while every other county, or most other counties, are separated into regions, sorry if you guys cannot see this, Sullivan County is not only at the top of the list, but it's the highest, and Northeast region being the second highest. Sullivan County is 50% higher than every other region in the state, and 5 times the state rate, 500% of the state rate. And so I wanted to also find some statistics on the total number of cases in Sullivan County that involve drugs. And I thought I can go to the Court of Appeals website, and I can pull every single opinion from Sullivan County that involved children over the last 5 years, which I have right here. All but one involved drugs. Almost every single case in Sullivan County involves drugs. And what does that mean? You have children that are remaining under the eye of the juvenile court for years, up to, and I am not kidding about this, 14 years. That's how long it's taking for some of these children. I want you to think back 14 years ago and what you were doing and how your life has changed. And imagine if you had to wait for closure from the juvenile court. It is unacceptable for this county to have a part-time court. We need to have a full-time court. You guys are dumping part-time resources into a court that frankly is overtime. And I also want to point out that if you divide the courts out from the Sessions Court and Juvenile Court into two.
3 minutes, Mr. Young.
Thank you. It's going to also benefit the Sessions Court.
I asked if he could give him time to finish his.
Is there any objection? Mr. Gill?
If you also separate the two courts, the Sessions Court's also going to benefit. Not only do we have part-time juvenile courts in Sullivan County, we have part-time Sessions Court. Not to put anyone on the spot, but you can ask Commissioner McMurray about it. He was in Judge Dewey's courtroom for many years in the Sessions Court. It is a very long docket, and sometimes it doesn't get done for the day. And that is no benefit for anyone in Sullivan County. When you have people that have orders of protection, you have victims that want closure, and you also have criminals that hopefully are staying off the streets, but they might be out there. And because they have a part-time court there, folks are not seeing resolution for months and months and months. So please, 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 Commission, consider sponsoring a resolution for a full-time court. Thank you.
Thank you. Samuel Ward. Thank you.
Hello, Sam Ward, 31, 1015 Windsor, Bristol, Tennessee. I am here as a father, as a veteran, as a employee at the YMCA Community Center. It's very dear to my heart. The community means a lot to me. This time we are seeing, what we're seeing happening in our country, it's unacceptable. The Gestapo are in our streets. They are taking innocent people. They are taking citizens. They're killing innocent people. And this is where we get to decide what side of history we're going to be on. Are we going to be the German citizens who supported Hitler's Nazi regime, or are we going to be the ones who fought back, the ones who stood up and said no? We don't care if something is the law. It's about what's right. It's about what's right. Slavery was legal. Nazi Germany was legal. Segregation was legal. The law is not the guide to our morality. Our morality guides the law. And the people, you guys have a great opportunity here to be heroes, to be local heroes. Vote no. Do not accept the Gestapo in our streets. Stand for the people. Support us. We've got a lot of other stuff to worry about in this community, taking care of people. This is not what we need. This is not what we want. And we will not forget the decision that is made here tonight. Thank you.
Whitney Prater.
Good evening. Hi. Didn't actually plan on speaking tonight, but I decided that I have to. I was fortunate enough to take...
Can you give us your name and address, please?
Yes, it's Whitney Prater, Sullivan County. The whole address?
Yes.
2543 Y Street, Kingsport, Tennessee.
Thank you.
I was fortunate enough to take ethical philosophy classes at East Tennessee State University. And I have spent years studying ethics. I also am fortunate enough to have a father who is a historian and teaches history in my hometown at the community college. And so as I have a unique understanding of what is going on because of that, but I think everybody does because it's really obvious. And I would like to begin this with quoting Immanuel Kant. Act that your principle of action might safely be made law for the whole of the world. I would like everyone to really think about what that means, please. Take that into your heart and think about what that means. To me, it means showing up for everyone in love. And it doesn't matter what race they are. It doesn't matter where they were born. It just means showing up in love and acting in love. My philosophy requires that I show up in love. It requires that when I see something egregious, I bear witness. It requires that I show up for people even when it is inconvenient for me. And being here tonight is inconvenient for me. But it isn't about me. It is about those who are afraid to leave their homes. It is about those who have been detained, not for a crime, but for the color of their skin. This is happening here. They are detaining our residents for up to 72 hours without committing any crimes before releasing them. What we have seen in Minneapolis, and now what we are seeing here in our own streets, is unacceptable, and I've personally seen it with my own eyes. The racial profiling and the despair that it is causing people. I would like you all to take this into consideration and do what's right, because history will remember. We will remember every vote. We will remember everyone. And your grandkids and their grandkids, they will all know how you voted tonight. Thank you.
My name is Gail Helt. I live at 179 Robinson Walk in Bristol, Tennessee, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you all tonight. I'm concerned that the county is considering taking money from ICE to allow 6 officers to stop and arrest people based on suspicion that they're here illegally. That's what the ICE task force model does. It allows officers to enforce limited immigration authority with ICE oversight during their routine police duties. In September, the Supreme Court cleared the way for officers to use race as the central reason to stop someone. ICE claims they don't do this, but they do. We've all seen videos of ICE officers telling people who are simply walking down their street, "You have an accent," or clearly targeting people of color as they knock on doors asking where the Asians or the Somalis live. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Sullivan County is 94% white. That means 6% of our population are likely to be targeted based on how they look or the language they speak, and most of them are U.S. citizens. I know law enforcement claims ICE operations are targeting violent criminals, but there's no pervasive violent crime epidemic here, and violent crime rates are declining. The number of homicides can be counted on one hand. Our community is a safe one. Our local officers do a great job without ties to ICE. But I used to work for the CIA, and I've seen fear unleashed in societies that live in a police state where armed security forces roam the streets. I've experienced it myself overseas, and that presence is meant to intimidate, to cause people to fear, and to make the targeted group, our non-white neighbors, go underground or simply to leave. By allowing the law enforcement officers to partner with ICE in this way, we are creating a police state for our neighbors of color. U.S. citizen children will know the pain of losing a parent or alternately being tossed into a concentration camp with their parent. American citizens of color will be harassed and possibly detained because ICE eventually those it contracts with struggle to see people of color as legitimate Americans. Neighbors, friends, healthcare staff, teachers, caretakers, they'll all be gone from our community, making us poorer morally, socially, and economically. And I would note that the economic impact on Minneapolis from ICE operations has been $81 million. We can't afford that here. Our kids will wonder what happened to their friends, and the rest of us, those of us who strive to do justice and to love mercy but find ourselves helpless in the face of oppression to stop harm from befalling our neighbors, will simply suffer moral injury from the shame of being unable to stop this. These dynamics will erode the trust between the people and the government. That trust is the foundation of the social contract on which the Constitution is based. If that's gone, our government is no longer legitimate, and people will begin to withhold their consent to be governed, including our consent to be governed by local officials who let security forces disrupt our community and kidnap our neighbors. We will remember this at election time. Please do not accept ICE funding and the obligations that come with it. We don't want the horror that ICE has rained down in other communities in Sullivan County. And by the way, legal immigrants, U.S. citizens, or undocumented, we are all children of God. We all deserve to be treated with dignity and to live here in peace.
Jordan, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Jordan, is it Click?
Yes.
Click. Thank you.
Of course.
Jordan Click, 411 Park Ridge Drive, Kingsport, Tennessee. On October 19, 1749, the German ship Lydia landed in Pennsylvania. Among its 70 or so passengers was Johann Conrad Gluck, his wife Susanna, and their 6 children. As Lutherans, they were not escaping religious persecution, but rather seeking a new life after decades of war. A skilled artisan with clay, my 7th great-grandfather Johann also brought with him his culture, and his son would continue that legacy right here in Tennessee, over a decade before it received its statehood. He would have gathered his clay in the same creek where Davy Crockett was born and raised. There's a good chance they knew of each other. By 1917, my 2nd great-grandfather, Robert Taylor Click, was living in Kingsport and working at the Federal Dye Stuff and Chemical Company. The first Click to leave Greene County and pursue anything other than farming or pottery, he was acting in that same defiant spirit of his ancestor Johann. He would raise 3 boys, an architect who would design the Gump addition to Johnson City, another, an Army first lieutenant who served honorably during World War II, and lastly, a community leader and business owner whose construction company produced buildings such as the Watauga Dam Visitor Center and the chapel at Camp Tapawingo. That was my great-grandfather Charles. I tell you about my family story because stories are all we have to make sense of the past, so that we may better understand who we are today. My family story both predates and has continued through the history of the United States and Eastern Tennessee. It's a tale of determination to provide a better life for yourself and your children, no matter the obstacles. Every single other person in this room shares this same story because we are all products of immigrants. It is a very rare occurrence where one recognizes the chance to intentionally change the story of their community for the better. If we pass items 2 and 3 tonight, we forever etch in our annals the decision to choose fear over love. I recognize that many of you, both in this council and the crowd, are in favor of ICE's tactics because you have been told a story of villains, not of people. Immigrants without proper documentation are being painted as less than human due to the crimes of a few. Know this, throughout history, fear of the other has been a pervasive tool used to keep the working class divided and hateful of one another. We know the results of these stories. Fear turns into hatred and violence so quickly that many people fail to notice that their empathy has been restricted only to those who look, speak, and think like they do. Create the beginning of a new story for Sullivan County tonight and vote no on items 2 and 3. Let's set an example to Tennessee and the world that we are willing to freely give immigrants of today the same respect and opportunities afforded to our ancestors. Thank you.
Now I know I'll mispronounce this one. Stephanie Rosenwing. I'm the guy that can mispronounce Smith, so
It's okay, I married that man.
You married into it, okay?
Yeah, I brought him here.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me speak tonight. My name is Stephanie Rosenwing. I'll try to read this really fast. I live at 308 Mountain View Drive in Bristol, Tennessee. I'm an honorably discharged Gulf War combat veteran. My father was the game warden in Smith County, Virginia for much of his life, and I have many extended family members who have worked in or are currently working in law enforcement. And by the way, none of them, not one, wears a mask or tries to hide their identity. Not one. They are and were very proud of their service to their state. I am here to discuss resolutions 2026-02-03, that resolution, and I believe it's 04. I'm absolutely opposed to our county taking $145,000 from Homeland Security to be used to purchase some fancy large pickup truck to help support ICE agents while they are here in our county. Will these agents leave this county after they terrorize our black and brown neighbors with said vehicle? Is this truck for ICE agents or for Sullivan County officers? I'm not clear. Also, did Sullivan County officers complete the 4-week training program at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in South Carolina? How many Sullivan County officers were sent to this training, and which officers were they? Who paid for all aspects of that training for Sullivan County personnel? ICE may cover traveling costs, but local agencies are responsible for personnel, for overtime, and for potential legal costs, which can be substantial, as we have seen with Minneapolis. Did you know that some jurisdictions have reported significant deficits and have had to raise taxes to cover expenses? Also, is our county's attorney prepared for what may come? Because as a Tennessean, I enjoy the privilege of permitless concealed carry of my favorite firearm, as does every other Tennessean who can legally own a firearm. Now, some Tennesseans may not react positively to having unidentified masked men and women trespassing on their property or trying to kidnap them from their own personal vehicles, especially when those agents don't have a legal reason to do so or a judicial warrant. Are the taxpayers supposed to incur those legal fees of the illegal actions of poorly trained, 47 days, federal agents? I was trained a lot longer than that for the United States military. Let me just add that. Is our county attorney ready for this? Also, what is the average salary of a Sullivan County police officer? I looked it up. The sheriff enjoys a six-figure salary while his deputies average around $48,583 per year. I wonder how many of them can afford a brand new $145,000 upfitted, whatever that means, Ford F-150. I sure can. I wonder how many of them struggle to keep food on their families' tables. How many of them struggle to fund college educations for their children? The 287G program is voluntary, from what I've read. The Sullivan County, is that my 3?
10 seconds.
The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office shouldn't have volunteered for this. And I would like to also say, why are we building a new jail if y'all been inside Bluntville Elementary School? We need to build some schools.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Katie Stigers.
There you go. Very good.
Hi, my name is Katie Stigers. I live at 1020 Georgia Avenue in Bristol, Tennessee. Stephanie said almost everything I wanted to say far better than I possibly could, so thank you. My brother-in-law was a St. Louis City police officer, University City police officer near St. Louis for almost 2 decades. My other brother-in-law served in the Coast Guard. I fully support law enforcement. I have enormous respect for your work. When we look at $200,000-ish between the $70,000 grant and the $140,000 grant, is that worth the goodwill of your county? Is that worth the risk of the almost certain civil lawsuits that will come? Are we prepared for that? We can't adjudicate juvenile drug cases. This is not a good cost-benefit analysis on the part of this commission. I had some things I was going to say about, for 250 years, America has had a federal system that allowed laboratories of democracy to experiment. And we've seen in Minneapolis that that experiment has failed. We don't need to do it here. Somebody tried it. It didn't work. And they have a much more complex system than we do. And Gail Helt's already told us the likelihood of our neighbors being terrorized is far greater here. And the likelihood of people being unjustly harmed is far greater here because of the freedom that people in Tennessee have already decided to have around firearms. My children go to school with armed guards because of that freedom. I really don't want to see that in the streets. The last thing I want to say is that I've heard from friends who have reached out to many of you who've been very welcoming with, hearing from your constituents and talking about this. And some of them have said that when they spoke to y'all, don't know who all it was, well, we have to do this because the folks in Nashville will punish us if we don't. Well, that's bullying. And I think that if folks in Nashville are trying to tell us how to do things here, that's wrong. And y'all need to stand up for it and call it out. And if it's not true, please don't tell us that it is. Name names or don't. That's what we ask. Thank you so much for taking time to hear all of us and appreciate your service. And please do not support resolutions 2 or 3 dying.
Hi, I'm actually going to talk on a different subject tonight. but one that I think is just as important and deserves your support. I don't know.
Name and address.
Oh, I'm
please.
sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
You're fine.
Denise Skeen, 270 Wyatt Hollow Road, Bristol, Tennessee. I don't know Lisa Tipton or Judge Goodwin or the Families Free program, but I do know this. Treatment and support are a whole lot more effective and cost-effective than punishment and shame. And I also know this. Not one of you got here, not one of us got here by ourselves. We have all had people who supported us when maybe it was easier not to, who believed in us maybe when we didn't believe in ourselves. And I know some of you might think that there's a difference between people who break the law and people who don't break the law. But I can guarantee you, everybody in here has broken some laws, just some people just don't get punished. You might recall some of the statistics that have come before you in the not too distant past. One of them was tonight with the juvenile court system. One of them is Sullivan County being rated the worst county in Tennessee for family and community well-being. The youth crime rate in Sullivan County being the third highest in the state. Sullivan County having the highest suicide rate in the state, if you remember that from like September or August or something. As commissioners, your job includes being fiscally responsible, representing your constituents, and, if I might use a phrase from the Constitution, promote the general welfare of the county. Those statistics, they're the result of policy. Policy that you made, that the state made, that this nation has made. In the year that I've been sitting in on your all's meetings, I've not seen anything come before this commission that had as much promise to accomplish all the things that are part of your job as the proposal to create the Sullivan County Women's Recovery Home. So here's my ask. Quit telling barefoot people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and start reaching your hand out to other people to help them. And here's what's supposed to be happening in this chamber. We aren't dividing up pie. You're not getting a smaller piece of pie if you help somebody. What we're supposed to be doing is raising the tide. Thank you.
Thank you. Kat Black. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
My name's Kat Black. I live at 330 Godsey Road here in Bristol, Tennessee, Sullivan County resident. There's nothing I can say that my fellows haven't already said. But I will say this. As a trans masked person, threat comes to me not from an immigrant. Threat comes to me from law enforcement and ICE agents. Threat comes to my children through law enforcement and ICE agents. Do not bring them here. Because that is not fair to people like me or to our people of color. And it makes me so angry that you all can sit here and think that, well, we'll just take this money because apparently you're being bullied. I got a bigger dick than all of y'all. So fuck ICE and y'all do your jobs.
Crystal Hart. Thank you for being here.
Hi, my name is Crystal Hart. Address is 340 Low Road, Piney Flats, 37686. I oppose Sullivan County accepting money from Homeland Security and working with ICE. I want our county officers arresting criminals using judicial warrants instead of assisting ICE agents using administrative warrants to forcibly take our neighbors, congregants of our churches, our children's friends, students, and children to privately owned and poorly run detainment centers where there's no government oversight. I used to trust ICE, and I viewed them as a legitimate agency. Now I see them as overly aggressive, masked thugs who are poorly trained with itchy trigger fingers, just looking for confrontations. We've all seen video after video of people attacked, pulled from their vehicles based on skin color and language spoken. We've heard ICE cheer when a U.S. citizen was shot and killed. And we heard another agent call a U.S. citizen of profanity immediately after fatally shooting her. We read the text of an ICE agent who bragged that he shot a woman who was a U.S. citizen 5 times but made 7 holes. We've seen videos of agents who claim their vehicles were rammed when video showed exactly the opposite. We've seen scared children running from their government. We've seen a U.S. citizen let out of his home in his underwear in the freezing cold. I was raised to trust law enforcement, as I raised my children to do. Watching the heinous, violent, and willful lawlessness committed by ICE has severed that trust. I hope my voice, as well as the others who have spoken, are heard by you and will influence your decision, so the trust and respect that I have for Sullivan County law enforcement officers remains intact. Thank you.
Jeff Cassidy. Sheriff Jeff Cassidy. Sheriff Jeff Cassidy.
Thank you, Chairman Gardner. Thank you for the commission to hear me out this evening. ICE is not a new thing. It was reorganized, reclassified after 9/11, after 2,900 people lost their lives in a terrorist attack. The ICE agents we met, well organized, well mannered. There was no harm to nobody. They had detainers for these individuals. And our task force officers that go out in the public, wouldn't you want us representing? I'm a CALEA accredited sheriff's office. I'm Tennessee Corrections Institute certified. I want representation and extension to be out there with these ICE agents to make sure.
Sheriff.
It does not matter what I say.
Sheriff, I've allowed everyone that came up.
You do your job.
Sheriff, excuse me, Sheriff. Everyone, I've allowed every one of you the opportunity to speak uninterrupted.
This is pro-Nazi shit.
I have allowed everyone.
Here's the thing. I took an oath of office for the rule of law to protect the Constitution.
Sheriff.
If you want a weak-kneed sheriff not to enforce the rule of law, then you can vote for somebody else.
We sure will.
We will.
We are at the end of 30 minutes. Is there a motion to extend the period of public comment? Let's take a vote on the motion. Let's put it on the board. Do we extend public comment or not? Per our rules, we have to take a vote on it at the end of the 30 minutes as to whether or not we extend the time. Per Rule 4, as I read it before the meeting. We're voting on a motion. Anyone wish to make the motion? Make a motion, Commissioner Locke, we're making a motion to extend. So if you wish to extend, vote yes. If you don't wish to extend, you vote no. Commissioner Locke made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Means. We're voting to extend.
Thank you.
We've not voted yet. We're getting it on the board.
Better not say
Is it ready? Motion to extend public comment. When the board opens, please cast your vote on whether or not to extend public comment. It requires 13 votes for passage.
Oh, yes. They don't want to hear from you.
Oh, yes.
They don't want to hear from their constituents. Wow. Yeah, they don't want to hear what you have to say. Cowardice. They don't care about your constituents. November's coming. No, they don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from you. Terrified.
Thank you to the yeses.
Scared of the truth.
In the morning, right? Hit some golf balls.
Right?
Has every member voted? Remember, we're voting on motion to extend. A yes vote extends. Is everybody clear?
Thank you.
Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
Reconsider it.
Do what's right.
Change your vote. It's your job. Represent us.
Listen.
That's your job.
Represent us.
I haven't heard anyone on the other side.
Down to work, announce the vote.
8 yes, 13 no, 3 absent. Great job, guys. Great job.
Having failed to receive
It is your job to represent.
We won't forget.
Shame on you.
We're in recess for 15 minutes.
Enjoy your break. Too hard to do your job?
Cowards! You're my Dickens finger! I promise.
They don't want to hear from you.
You're all pathetic.
They don't want to hear from you.
You're all un-American. Doing this a few months after a commissioner was arrested.
It's Nazi Germany in here.
And we're looking at you right
Nazi
now.
Germany.
Go away!
Veterans died. Veterans died. My friends died in Afghanistan to protect democracy and freedom, and y'all shit on it.
That's right.
Every one of y'all shit on it. Cowards! Fucking cowards! You won't forget. Every one of y'all.
We will vote them out.
Vote them out. November's coming, baby.
Fucking skillet.
This is what democracy looks like.
That's right. That's right. That is not what democracy looks like.
This is 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 what democracy looks
commissioners have decided not to extend this, so we need to clear the room.
Because they're cowards. Take our money, but you vote against the interests of the people and then you kick them out. They want to vote on this privately. So embarrassing. I can't say
Democracy dies behind closed doors.
Meet the moment, y'all. Come on. You believe in democracy? You believe in democracy? Come on. I know you do.
Do the right thing.
At some point, we have to draw a line. Democracy is always safe when people break the law to save it. Always.
I want to get a good view of the whole thing.
Your back pressure cheers will help that. No. Speaking from experience, yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. I'm going to move back.
just did, we took about 4 tons of bricks out. They had done some demolition right, and they just threw them out. Yeah. Just great bricks. That was might have been. Okay, we're getting there. There's something to do. I used to work for a veneer manufacturer.
I remember that.
Oh, really? Cherry. Apparently nobody wants beach. Beaches everywhere, and it's not valuable. The guy across the street had 3 walnut trees. The tree guy took them down and just said, give me the trees from the quality. Yeah. And I'm thinking, why do I have any walnut trees? A big bus. Yeah. I know I'm going through change like nobody's business trying to cut us back on small development. It burns forever too. I did a burn pile. Yeah, I used to keep that short. Where I was in New York, I used to get wood stone. I used to keep it short. So when I used to get guys, call them up here. They would sell their firewood for $25. You know, this guy's $225, what do you got? Oh, we got about 80% elm. Yeah, right. We're done. Actually, we took out a wood store. We had a wood store. We had a second building. It's a 2-story floor. 2-car garage and apartment over it. And really, I've used that to heat the apartment. It just never worked. So we just took the damn thing out. Yeah, all those creates a lot of smoke. We wanted to put a wood stove out. This house, you know, your electricity goes down. Oh, I know it goes up. Like pellets or regular wood, or I mean, I was just doing regular wood. Because, you know, you're selling your pocket, it's not going to be your pellets. He's selling my kid. He said, so I'm done with pot. I started looking, he goes, oh, Dad, don't let him get the first one. Okay. That's why I've got 5 years of food for 2 people. Yeah, oh, that'll work. Okay. The stuff that goes out of the that doesn't get thrown away. That's legal waste. Right. Oh, I understand that. So, they adjourned this presentation of the meeting. Just taking a break. No, I understand that, but you folks realize we're waiting for the public. Okay. Fair as any, otherwise. I'm fine. Good. If you lock and see your, you got your bigger ring. Where's your timer sheet? I need to find out why well done. Still done. Better work. Oh, I know. I saw that.
That's why. Anytime there's a lot of business, it's sitting in chairs or
Everybody can take their seats and call the meeting back to order.
I noticed something. Maybe you got smarter than all.
Thank you. Sullivan County Commission is back in session. Next order of business is consent calendar. Madam Clerk, you have the list of the items on the consent calendar. If you could read those, please. And before she reads the items on consent calendar, we'll be voting on the consent calendar. There's an item on the consent calendar that you wish to have bumped off. Indicate that after the clerk reads the consent calendar, because the consent calendar requires unanimous consent. Madam Clerk.
Items on the consent calendar are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 14, 15, and 16.
You've heard the list of resolutions on the consent calendar. Is there an item that anyone wishes to bump off consent calendar? Anyone seek recognition? Motion? Motion to approve by Commissioner Cole, second by Commissioner Jones and Ward. Any further discussion on consent calendar requiring unanimous consent, only requiring 13 votes for passage? Any other further discussion? Excuse me, you're right. Unanimous consent. Excuse me. Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on the consent calendar requiring unanimous consent. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
21 yes, 3 absent.
Having received unanimous consent, the consent calendar is approved.
Shane!
Without objection, next order of business. Resolution saying. Item number 10, recognize Commissioner Glover. Commissioner Glover on item number 10.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution is to establish an advance payment policy for property taxes in the office of Sullivan County Trustee. We talked about this last week in the workshop. Whereas the Sullivan County Trustee will offer taxpayers an opportunity to sign up for ACH advance payments based on the prior year taxes. And whereas each year February 15th will be the deadline for the ACH sign up. Angela's asking for waiver of rules on this so she can go ahead and talk to the folks that's coming in this month and make everybody aware of what is moving forward with that. So I'm asking for this to be put on waiver of rules for a vote tonight, please. And all those that's voting in the affirmative, I asked Madam Clerk for their names to be written on this resolution individually, please.
You've heard the explanation on item number 10. The floor is open for discussion. Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 10 requiring 16 votes for passage. Anyone seek recognition? Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 10. Waiver of rules requires 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
21 yes, 3 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 10 is George, since you know more about this, you any comment on this? It's on first read.
Mr. Chairman, we'd like to make this the first reading, please.
Commissioner Crosswhite moves first reading on item number 12. That cuts off discussion on item number 12 without objection. Recognize. I'm watching the screen. Recognize Commissioner Iverson is not here. Commissioner Crosswhite, can you take item number 14?
Is on consent.
13? Back up. Commissioner Ward on item number 13.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution is for Sullivan County, excuse me, let me back up here. The resolution to appropriate $513,700,000 from the opiate settlement fund to families free. What this will be for is the operating costs for the Sullivan County Women's Recovery Home. All this money from the opioid money has to be used for some type of treatment. We've sat in multiple meetings with on the opioid committee and talked about an organization to try to take under a wing to support strongly in Sullivan County, Kingsport, Bristol, and Families Free has done an outstanding job. They have homes in Kingsport.
Waiver rules. You've heard the explanation on item number 13. The floor is open for discussion. Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 13, requiring 16 votes for passage. Recognize Commissioner Still.
Commissioner Ward, everyone voting in affirmative be added on as a sponsor?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Commissioner Crosswhite.
Thank you, Chairman. This, like Commissioner Ward said, this is get these ladies back into their homes drug-free, get their children back, and Families Free has a 90% success rate. We've only had that returned to jail in the last 5 years. It's we're going to put families back together, and that's what this day's all about. So I appreciate your vote.
Anyone else seek recognition? Commissioner Ward renews his motion on item number 13. Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 13. Waiver of rules requires 16 votes for passage. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk.
21 yes, 3 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 13 is adopted. Without objection, recognize Commissioner Cross on item number 17.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This resolution is authorizing the issuance of the capital outlay note not to exceed $1.522 million for the purpose of acquiring vehicles for the Sheriff's Department of Corrections for the patrol and safety. This is on waiver rules. As far as the bond is concerned, Michael Kennedy is here to answer any questions about the continuing payance of the bond.
You've heard the explanation on item number 17. Sponsor moves waiver of rules on item number 17. The floor is open for discussion. Anyone seek recognition? Anyone have any questions for Mr. Kennedy? Commissioner Jones.
The Budget Committee discussed this yesterday and unanimously supported the resolution.
Anyone else seek recognition? Commissioner Crosswhite.
Thank you, Chairman. One thing that the Budget Committee talked about yesterday, that maybe the Sheriff's Department can come up with a 5-year capital plan for all these vehicles, so they can come bring it to the budget, but we need to have a plan instead of coming up here at the last minute requesting, 65 new vehicles, so they need them, but we need to start a 5-year plan. 24, sorry, 24. Thank you.
Anyone else seek recognition? Did Mr. Kennedy wish to speak to the bond?
You guys have questions, that's fine.
Anyone have questions for Mr. Kennedy?
Verify, there's just 24 vehicles. Yes, 24.
Commissioner Cross renews his motion on item number 17 on waiver of rules requiring 16 votes for passage. Without objection, when the board opens, please cast your vote on item number 17. Commissioner Ward abstains for cause, reducing the majority by 1. Necessary majority is now 12. Commissioner Cole abstains for cause, reduces the majority down to 11. Anyone else? Madam Clerk.
19 yes, 2 abstain, 3 absent.
Having received the necessary majority of the votes cast, item number 17 is adopted. That brings us to the end of our resolution calendar. Next order is announcements. Anyone seek recognition? Commissioner Means, then Commissioner King.
Yeah, I just wanted you all to see that over in Commissioner Gardner's chair tonight is not Commissioner Gardner. It's actually a young lady who's interested in local government, local politics, and civil discourse. And so if you don't mind to just say hi to Miss Reagan. So she'll be hanging around sometimes if you don't care to just, I know you all are great people. So take her under your wings and show her how awesome you are.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you. Anyone else seek recognition? Commissioner King. Commissioner King.
Thank you, Chairman. The Sullivan County Audit Committee met, and we got with auditors from the state, and we got a very good report back from the auditors at the state that we had only one minor blimp. It was very minor, and so we got a good report. We got minutes to send to Nashville, and that'll conclude the audit for last year. And again, we had a lot of things that we cleaned up in the last 2 years, and we had a very good report this year as far as the way we do business in Sullivan County. And again, I want to thank the audit committee for meeting and going over everything, and the auditors that were here. So thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to enter into record that the audit committee did meet yesterday, February 18, 2026. I'd like to enter that into record. Anyone else seek recognition? Have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Cowton, second by Commissioner Means. All in favor of the adjournment motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you.
No, it's okay. I appreciate your concern and your sensitivity. That's your strong suit, no doubt. Yeah.
allegiance to the